Hey everybody, Matthew and Steve here from MiniWarGaming.com, and welcome to the first episode of Watchers in Death, a new Age of Sigmar narrative campaign. Not to be confused with Death Watch, although you may see some similarities. Okay, let's just say it. This is basically Death Watch for Age of Sigmar, except as all things that get ported over to Age of Sigmar, like Space Marines, it will take on a life of its own, because already what the Watchers in Death are, as you're going to find out throughout this campaign, not right away, is very different than what the Death Watch are. But you're going to notice similarities in their appearance. Just going to point that out. But we're just going to kind of not explain much more than that, because part of the story is actually revealing what they are and how they came to be and everything else, as you're going to find out. We're going to kind of slowly introduce you to it. This is our third Age of Sigmar narrative campaign. We did Illarath's Awakening with Steve and Luca, and then Spellhunters with Steve. This one is going to operate very similarly to those, in the fact that there's going to be 2 battle reports each week on whatever day this is today. It's either Friday or Saturday, depending on, we might switch things up. So whatever day it is right now, when this came out, it'll be every week on that day. And so the first one will be for free on YouTube, and the second one will continue the story in the vault. So this one won't be like the Death Watch one we just did, where it'll be 2 separate stories going along, one for free and one in the vault. This will actually, the story continues. So mission number 2 will be in the vault, mission number 3 will be for free, number 4 will be in the vault. So you won't get the full story if you're not a vault member. I'm sorry. But if you're not a vault member, I've got a special deal for you. To celebrate our 3rd ever Age of Sigmar narrative campaign, I want to give you all 3 of them for free. Is this my sales hands? Is this good enough to look like a cheap like car salesman? No. I want to give you the best deal ever. But seriously, we've done these giveaways quite often, and it's basically an ethical bribe to get you to try out the vault. What you do is you go to miniwargaming.com/AOS as an Age of Sigmar. So the letter A, the letter O, the letter S, not a 0, not something else. I'll put a link in the description below, and maybe Rob will spell it correctly right here. No promises. And we did the last one wrong, so yes. Get it right, Rob. Get it right. Anyways, if you go to that link, then you'll see it'll explain everything, basically. I don't want to take too long right here. I already have. And it explains basically if you sign up for a free trial to the MiniWarGaming Vault, then we'll give you all 3 campaigns for free, even if you cancel your membership. So you don't have to remain a member. You don't have to pay a dime or a penny or a nickel, and you can have all 3 narrative campaigns. That's all I'm going to say. Go to miniwargaming.com/AOS if you're interested in that, and it has all the details. So, Watchers in Death, we're not going to do the first story time right now. We're actually going to go straight into the mission, and we're going to mingle a bit of story time with the first mission, as we're going to slowly introduce exactly what the heck is going on. But what I will tell you is that you can get the rules for this campaign by going to miniwargaming.com/rules. I've actually stopped making separate pages for each of the rules because there's just so many now. So it's just one page. MiniWargaming.com/rules has the rules for all the different narrative campaigns where I have published the rules. And so you can find this one on that list. There should be the actual rules as well as the character sheet that we created, which is a very straightforward character sheet, or the squad sheet. And it works the same as Death Watch. And if you're not familiar with that, essentially Steve builds a 6-man squad. And the rules explain what his options are. Basically, there's 1 lord, there can be 1 knight, and then you have all these other ones. Everybody's a prime. In other words, they're like the sergeants of each of the squads. They start with a couple more wounds than they normally would, and basically that's it. And they have all the weapon options that they would normally have without the restrictions. Like you don't need to have at least 5 sacrosanct redeemers, for example. The sequitors, in order to get a grand hammer. If you wanted the prime to have a grand hammer, that's fine. You could even bring 2 of them, and they each have a grand hammer. That's fine as well. So there's no weapon restrictions that way, but you just have to kind of realize all the different ways that it's going to interact. And it even has a random gem generator, which we're going to be using for upgrades. I'm not going to explain that right now. We'll see it later on. But all of that, so it's all kind of like the Death Watch in that sense. It has all these things to it. It's going to be a small-scale skirmish thing, and there's going to be a story that will be leading Steve through. None of the characters are immortal, though. They can die.
They will die.
There is no one character that I will put any plot armor on. They can die. And we will mourn their passing and move on with our lives.
Oh my goodness.
All right?
What's bothering you today, Matthew?
Nothing. Nothing.
like,
Yeah. But that's it. I don't want to delay it. This has already been a super long intro. And so let's just jump in to the first episode of Watchers in Death. Cue intro. Unless we've already watched it.
Your soul belongs to me. It has become due. I will find you.
Liberator Prime Severus slowly wakes up, feeling very disoriented, not even knowing exactly where he is. The last he can remember, he was fighting in the realm of beasts against Ironjaws, and he remembers he was winning, but from behind he does recall the stroke of a blade crashing across his back and he flying forward and going unconscious. And the next thing he realizes, he awakens here. As he stands up and looks around, he notices he's in some sort of underground dungeon of sorts. There's skulls everywhere, crates, there's blood all over the ground. And as he comes to be, and his eyes adjust to the darkness, and he looks down, you can see that his familiar colors of... Which storm host is he, Steve? Scrambling.
Sigmar Brotherhood.
The Sigmarite Brotherhood has been replaced with a dark, black, weird-feeling, strange armor. And yet, as he looks over, he can still see the symbol of his storm host and the colors of his heraldry of his storm host on his one pauldron. And his one arm, his left arm, feels very strange. And as he flexes his hand, it can't quite feel the flesh. It is numb. No pain, but no other sensations either. And yet he still knows how to hold his shield, still knows how to use his hand. He can still feel where it is, and yet can't tell where it is. A very ethereal feeling that he is having. As he looks around, he can hear shouting off in the distance and the clashes of blades. And he starts to wander around, finding out what has become of him. Steve, you now have control of him. It is your player turn.
I don't know what to do, though.
Well, that's actually very good, because you shouldn't know what to do.
Well, okay, so do you get up and you start walking around, searching, or looking around, or you start running?
I don't know.
I start running. I'm a coward.
Well, if you want to roll the run, just to represent him kind of like, just so we don't have to go through several movement phases before we get somewhere.
He's very eager to search the place.
Then how about this? Instead of us measuring his movement, just walk him at a pace of him walking around, like we're in real-time strategy mode right now. And as soon as you come across an encounter, it's like the old Fallouts, where then it'll switch over to a turn-based game.
Okay,
and describe his actions and what he does.
Okay, so you wake up in a weird place, right? Like you don't know what's up. There's boxes around. Immediately, you don't think of looking in the boxes. You really don't, right? You want to like
not going to look for relics inside of the boxes?
No, because
healing potions.
You don't. People don't keep healing potions in crates in the big dungeons. You go to a doorway, you can like peer in. What's in there?
You can hear shouts coming from the hallway beyond.
What's the hallway beyond? Like this
way?
Like
beyond over here.
Oh man, that sounds horrible.
You hear like the shouts and clashes of blades.
Shouts and clashes of blades.
But not like there's tons of them.
I'm a warrior.
There's some sort of scuffle going on.
You see anything through there?
You're going to peek around? Yes, you do. We go into turn-based. As you come around the corner, you notice a few Chaos Warriors skirmishing. There's one big one, and he's taking on 3 all by himself. You're not quite sure if they're battling to the death or if they're just, practicing. But as you look around the corner, the larger one notices you and yells at his companions, and they all turn and growl and get ready to fight you. So now we start your turn.
Oh, okay. So we're just gonna move on up.
Stay out of 3 inches.
And just charge right in.
Charge right in. Don't roll double one. Good start, Steve. Now you do have a command point.
You don't tell me, apparently.
Okay, so you do have a command point. This is a Liberator Prime, but all of your models gain the hero keyword.
That's yes.
So you do have the command trait, the command abilities to reroll charges.
I don't see a reason not to reroll.
Okay.
Now.
There you go. I can't believe you rolled. Is that where you want to go? Engage the 3? Because it's a unit of 3 and a unit of 1.
Yep.
And then obviously you're going to swing at them.
Yeah.
Liberator Prime with a Warblade has 3 attacks.
On 3s.
Good start,
He's
Steve.
not that good. He did die.
That's true. He just woke up. He's a little disoriented. 4s.
Hey.
That's a wound. And we're going to allocate it to the guy first. He has a shield, so that's a 5-up save. And then, so I will actually kill him. The other 2 will then pile in. And they just have their axes, so 1 attack each, hitting on 4s. Oh, they both swing and miss, maybe bashing into your shield. And lastly, the Blood Reaver Chieftain moves up with his Meat Ripper axe. He's got 2 attacks hitting on 4s. Oh, both hit, and they hit hard, wounding on 4s.
Well, not that hard.
Okay, so they hit, but it just doesn't really seem to connect much more than that. They're a Bravery 5. They lost 1 guy. Do the other guys run? Well, if I roll a 5 or higher, they will. Yeah, one of them's like, nope, and he starts to run away. He bellows out, coward, get back here! And he just runs off in the distance. It's Chaos turn. They're just going to go straight to combat, and we're going to start with the Chieftain swinging with his Meat Ripper axe. Hitting on 4s. 1 hits, wounded on a 4. That wounds. It's a -1. Your shield gives you a 4-up.
I am from the Sigmar Brotherhood, so I ignore the first level of Ren because I have a shield.
Awesome. And we also forgot something that we're going to do right now. When you choose a Liberator as your Redeemer, he gets a free upgrade. So essentially, you're required to bring 2 Redeemers, 2 or more Redeemers, and a Redeemer is either a Liberator or a Sequitur. But because Sequiturs are so much better than Liberators, then I say that if you choose a Liberator, he gets a free upgrade. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to interrupt the sequence and go and do that, because it might actually affect us. So we just roll an upgrade. This does not make you level 2, so it doesn't count as 10 experience, making it harder to get to the next level. And you roll a 9, which is roll on any general upgrade tree. Ooh. So that would be close combat, shooting, speed, or toughness. You choose toughness for him?
Toughness.
3, tough. So -1 to the injury table. That'll come in handy. Okay, resuming the game. Consider it more like a tutorial. Like as he swings, all of a sudden the game pauses, saying, hey, just so you know, you have an upgrade available. Would you like to use it now? And you're like, yeah.
Yes, I would.
And the game pauses, and you go and get your upgrade, and then resume game. And the axe hits hard. You try to hold up your shield on a 5+, you'll stop it.
4+.
No, oh, right. You ignore the first level of Ren. Oh, you roll a 2, and it connects, and boom, you feel the wound hit you. So it brings them down to 3 wounds. All of the heroes in the Watchers in Death start with 2 wounds more than they normally would. So a Liberator would normally have 2, so you have 4. So down to 3. You can swing back. How would you like to do your attacks?
So I'm going to go with, you're probably not going to have any shenanigans right away, so I'm going to put all my attacks into the Marauder.
Just 1 Marauder here?
Yeah.
So the next turn you can put all your attacks in the others. So 3s to hit, 4s to wound,
okay.
1 wound. He does not have a shield, so 6+ save. 2. So your blade connects and just chops him in half, giving you another experience. And that is the end of that turn. So we go straight back to your turn. How would you like to do it?
Just going to chop right into his face.
So you're just going to go straight to the fight phase?
Oh yeah, we're aiming for his helmet.
3s to hit.
All right.
4s to wound. 1 wound, no rend. He's got a 6-up save, which he makes. So you smash into him, and he just slaps your blade around, and then he brings his meat ripper axe. There's words. And he chops down and connects. He connects hard. And you can feel one of them grind in, but you try to bring your shield up to stop it on a 4+, and you do. You push it aside and parry his blow. And then in his turn, he swings back at you again. Oh, we're not doing random turns right now. That might come up later on, just in case people are right now being like, well, why aren't you doing random turns? It's just because we don't need to. It doesn't
matter.
We will. I am not removing random turns from this just at this point. We're not worrying about it. He swings back, connects with one of them, wounding you on a 4, but it doesn't quite have the hit power that they need. And you push his blow aside and swing your war axe and connect a couple times with him. Okay. One of them digs deep, and he tries to push it off, and he doesn't. And you just push it right through his gut, pull it out, and despite him being able to take wounds and just kind of continue walking, he just grunts and he collapses to the ground.
I flick his blood over to here on the ground.
Yeah, and then he's all bloody right there. Turn-based mode is over. We're going back to real-time mode as you continue to explore, as you wipe your blade clean on the cloth of the one dead marauder. and continue on your way.
This structure looks kind of weird and interesting.
As you peer inside,
what am I seeing here?
You don't feel anything. There's an interesting thing that's happening as you're moving around. You feel like you can almost perceive the souls of those that you just slayed. And as you turn your back, you feel something behind you, almost like there's a marauder about to hit you again. Oh. And you quickly swing around and you look back, but he's not there. But as you peer down and look at the ground, you notice something coagulating, crystallizing from their blood. And you reach down and you pick up what appears to be a gem. We're going to go to the random gem generator. I'll explain what it is, kind of. I'll be cryptic, of course. But essentially, you're going to generate one random gem right now. Now, the one that's on here already doesn't count. I just pulled it up. So Steve is going to hit F5 to refresh the page. And you get, a rare black gem?
Or is that good?
That's the best thing you could find. How did you find a rare... Okay, basically... There's colors. Each color signifies where it goes on the location. There's red, yellow, blue, and white. Red is weapon, blue is shield, yellow is armor, white is jewelry. And then if you combine colors, if you found an orange one, for example, it'll have a red trait and a yellow trait, and you got to choose which one you're going to use. But black combines them all. And then they have 3 levels: common, uncommon, and rare. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this is the best one you could find. But
it might be.
There's some pretty good things in here.
I see the third one.
So essentially, you could put it on a weapon, and it'll give it +1 to wound. You can put it on your armor, and if somebody's slain within 12 inches, you can immediately charge, or you can instead pile in an attack as if it were the fight phase. If it's already the fight phase, this is an addition to his normal thing. Of knockback, you can put it on shield. After you charge, you choose a model within an inch and roll a d6. If you roll greater than their wounds characteristic, you can move the model up to 3 inches directly away from you. That has to be in a straight line directly away from your charge. And you can follow up and get that extra movement if you have charge movement left. Or you can put it as jewelry and double all the experience that the bearer receives.
Buddy, the first thing you get...
I know, right? The very first one is like the best gem ever.
They're all really good, but used to be obvious what I'm going to take, right?
I don't actually. I think not the weapon one.
I was going on my jewelry.
Yeah, doubling your XP. I was going to say either that one or the armor.
Like mid-late game, it's a little different.
Yeah, but very beginning.
First, only because it's a very the shield ones are actually very interesting to me. I love that shield one. Armor's one pretty good too. I love that shield one, but jewelry right away because that experience right away.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to get a rare black gem of learning.
I'm learning.
As you reach down and out of the blood, you pick up this very well crafted black gem. And you feel it speaking to you, saying that it wants to keep fighting. And you can almost feel that it's a tiny piece of one of the marauder souls, or probably the chieftain's soul. All the blood's mixing together, so it's really hard to tell. And as you hold it and you feel that urge, and it starts whispering secrets of fighting styles and everything, you can't help but hold on to it and then place it somewhere on your body that you're going to have to model between games. And now you learn even faster. Your reason has been quickened, and you're able to learn techniques.
They were just sparring.
They were just sparring. That's right. They were teaching each other, right? It's very, very apt. Back to our real-time strategy. You can go ahead and start moving around to describe.
So,
now, you said that you were looking inside of that one little
yes.
grave. You can kind of sense the souls of those who departed inside of it. And as you do so, a realization comes to you. For some reason, you have this instinctual ability to realize that you are in the realm of death.
Okay.
And that you're no longer in the realm of beasts. You still have no idea how you got here. Your memories even seem a little muddled from what was going on before. You can kind of remember the last thing that happened right before you came here, but you're thinking back more than a few days. You're having a hard time. Your head is still in a kind of a haze, a bit of a ringing sound in one of your ears.
Oh, you're also in combat mode too, like
yeah. You're kind of adrenaline is kind of pumping through you.
So, okay, do we hear anything? Are we just gonna keep
as you listen? Forward? You can hear several things. You can hear the ambient sounds of the dungeon, and that is the drippings of just water coming from other stuff. But off in the distance to your left, in the room to your left, you can hear some motion as well. And as you peer in, you see some more of the Marauders. As you look in, actually, the Marauders seem to be engaged with another Stormcast Eternal with similar weird black armor to yourself, but you can't really perceive much more from this distance. And you can see several dead bodies around him of Marauders that have already been crushed by his huge grand hammer. And more are swarming into the room right now to take him on, drawn to the fight, to the bloodshed. switch to turn-based. You now take control of him, and it is your turn.
Okay, well.
Now, you're not going to be able to get 3 inches away from a guy just with the move.
We're just going to move up and charge in before my brother gets surrounded more.
And you do have 1 command point again. I'm not just going to keep giving you a command point every turn, considering how fast the turns are going, because by now you'd have like 5 or 6. So you have 1 command point for the charge. No problem. 6-inch charge into them. And then we go straight to the fight phase. Who do you want to fight first with?
The guy with the less wound.
So him?
Yep.
Before he gets overwhelmed?
So
Severus then.
Yep. Just swing with the sword on 3s. Oh, 2 hits again.
2 hits, 1 miss.
And 4s. Ooh.
2 wounds. No shields amongst... Actually, though, this one guy with a shield...
Oh, both do.
Oh, he's got a shield on his back. All right, I guess. So we'll have it go on them first. 5 ups. No, it doesn't matter. And you swing and you crush down 2 of them, gaining you 4 experience instead of just 2. The 3 of these marauders then clash into this Liberator Prime, hitting him on 4s. Only one of them connects. He's able to sidestep the other 2 with ease. And that one does bite in, but it's possible that his armor will resist it. He's got a 4-up armor save, just no re-rolling 1s because he does not have a shield. And yet, his armor absorbs it without a problem. And then he picks up this huge grand hammer and swings into them. Also hitting on 4s. And a couple of them dodge out of the way. 3s to wound. Ooh. Oh, and the one doesn't even connect hard enough to do any damage. The other Marauder then turns to engage Severus, hitting you on a 4 and wounding you on a 4. Oh, he actually hits pretty hard with his axe, with his Reaper Blade, or not his Reaper Blade. You get to re-roll that because you have a 4+ re-rolling 1s.
Oh no!
And it actually bites through, bringing you down to 2 of your 4 wounds. There it is. We immediately go on to the Marauder's turn. I'm going to have these 3 swing once again at the Liberator Prime. For 4s and 4s, 2 of them connect, wounding on 4s, and 9 of them really bite deep. And then Severus swings back with his Warblade into the last Marauder, hitting him on 3s. Oh, missing them a couple times. This guy's small and fast, and even the one doesn't quite bite in. And then he counterattacks and hits on a 4, and he misses as well. After which our other unnamed Liberator Prime crashes down with his Warhammer, hitting on 4s.
Ooh, he likes it.
And wounding on 3s. Oh, they both crash hard. We're going to put it on the shield guy. Oh, there's 2 shield guys. So it's a -1 rend, but their shield's going to be 5 ups, so we're looking at 6 ups. And you just break right through the shields and crush them.
2 damage each.
2 damage each. And that even follows up to the next guy. One thing I forgot was actually the battle shock test for this guy back here when he lost 2 of his brethren. He's only bravery 5, and he does then flee the combat, but you do get the experience for him fleeing. Going back to real-time strategy mode. So as you approach the other Liberator Prime,
what up, bro?
and Severus starts to question him, saying, "Who are you?" And he answers by introducing himself as
Titus, the Astral Templars
of the Astral Templars. So he's got the same color shoulder pad?
No, it's a different color purple.
Oh, I see. They actually both are purple.
They are different colors.
They are slightly different colors. This just happens to start with the 2 purples. So Titus of the Astral Templar. And he describes that he was just in the middle of a fight in the realm of light, fighting against some Slaanesh demons. And one of them had just cut him down, and the last thing he remembered was going unconscious from the digging blade of a Slaanesh demonette. And then he awoke here, confused and surrounded by marauders, until he shook off his head and started battering down the marauders. And then you came in.
That sounds terrifying.
So the 2 of you are both unsure of what's going on, and you question each other about why your armor's black, and neither of you know. And Severus doesn't mention to Titus that his arm feels numb because he's not quite sure if he wants somebody else to know that there's some weird thing going on with his arm. And he's not sure if he can trust Titus yet, because he doesn't even know if Titus is who he is. Everything just feels hazy and weird, and they've never experienced something like this. And they've experienced, both of them have been reforged more than once. So they know what it's like to have their soul transmuted back to the realm of heaven, and then reforged, that awful process on the Forge of Apotheosis. And this does not feel like that. It feels very different. Back to real-time mode.
So, okay, he's woke up here, he knows nothing?
Nope. They don't. This is where he woke up. Right. Like, he literally woke up, and a bunch of confused marauders looked down at him and started hitting him with their axes.
So, explaining that there's nothing that way, we might as well go towards this door and see if we can open her up.
You can. It's kind of locked, but it's really, really mushy.
I got a big hammer.
Yeah,
Can I
and you just
knock on the door?
one or two knocks, and the thing and it breaks open, and you can just go right through. The room, once again, you can kind of sense the souls of the departed in here. You're not sure what that means. You're in the realm of death. None of you have really been to the realm of death, but you have heard of it. You're very familiar with it. So sensing nearby souls of the recently or long dead doesn't really surprise you, because that's probably a common thing in the realm of death.
Titus just wants to get somewhere. He has no idea what's going on, but the inquisitive Severus is looking at the statue.
You look up at the statue, and you see an inscription at the bottom that's worn out, and you can't see anything of it except it says the third.
The third.
It's the only part that you can see. So something, the third. And you look up, and it looks just like some sort of human scholar of sorts. You don't feel any connection to it whatsoever.
Just continuing the track is the new spot for Titus here. Titus. Severus is catching up.
Now, as you come out, you can start to feel the breeze of fresh air coming from this direction. But you can also hear the approaching footsteps of several soldiers as they come through. They are unaware of your presence yet. Approaching footsteps are a warrior of chaos leading a small group of marauders. You can hear him grumbling, "Where did those guys go? They've been meant to come back out to the chieftain a while ago." Switching to turn-based, it is your turn, and you gain a command point, so you're up to 2 command points now.
Okay, so we hear them, right?
Yeah, you know that they're coming.
I think the smart thing to do is we're going to take Titus here and ready to ambush these guys, or maybe pass right past them as Severus is going to run
Back there
this
as well.
way. We're going to ambush them. We're getting them on both sides.
They're not in a particular hurry, so they're just moving up their normal movement, unaware of you guys. Because as much as you're not super quiet, neither are they, and they're not expecting anything. And we're still not going to do the random turns yet. I do promise that once we get into larger games, we will. You're going to come around.
Ah!
He's like, "What? What are you doing here?" And charge.
Charge right in.
Yeah, 5 is good.
Whoa.
Crash in from behind. And from the front. So 3 inches is good.
Oh, yes. Whoa.
Now, because you did such a cool little ambush, I'm going to let both of your guys fight first. Yeah, especially if you do him first. If you did him first, then I might rotate because he saw him coming in. They did not see Severus coming. So we'll do Titus first into the Chaos Warrior.
4s. Which game we got 3 here?
Crash into the Chaos Warrior. He's got his 4-up save. The shield only ignores mortal wounds, and you have a -1 Ren, so 5 up. Oh, and he just takes it because you would have actually killed him in 1 swipe. And then Severus from behind with his blade hits on 3s and 4s.
He's still waking up.
And unfortunately, he's still in a bit of a daze. The Chaos Warrior will then just advance over to pile in over here and swing back. He is actually an aspiring champion, which is why he's leading this motley crew. So he's going to be hitting back on 2s with his hand weapons. Ooh. And then 4s. No wound. You just kind of shrug it off. The Marauders are kind of stuck between the two. They want to go and help their aspiring champion, but at the same time, they want to fight back here. So these 3 get frozen in place. Well, actually, he'll move up. Because we got to keep him in coherency, right? So he'll move up to attack, and then these 3 will attack back here. You pinned him down perfectly, bringing chaos to chaos. So the one attacking Titus, hitting him on a 4, and wounding on a 4. And he fails to do any damage. And then the other 3 up against Severus, same thing, 4s and 4s. Nothing, they fail the damage as well. But then we do go to their turn, so I get to choose one of them. We're just going to go straight to the fight phase. The Chaos Warrior, the aspiring champion, will swing. 2s and 4s. Nothing again.
Wow. Well, Severus obviously fight.
3s. Oh, now he's got his connecting hits there.
And
they just can't seem to do any damage.
He's burnt out with the swinging.
Marauders basically got to stay where they are. These 2 are confused clearly. So 1 into him, 3 into him. 1 into Titus, 4s and 4s. That's a hit. And nothing. And then 3, 4s and 4s. 4s and 4s. We got a wound into him. He's got a 4-up save. Rerolling 1s. That's a 4. It's obviously a 4. And then who do you still have to fight back with?
Well, this is a new thing, right? So Titus.
Titus, he has already fought.
Yeah.
Titus has hitting on 4s with his Grand Hammer, and then 3s to wound the Chaos Warrior. Got a 5-up save against that. And you just bite right through his armor, just barely, and crush him down to the ground. Which brings us back to your turn. No command point being gained here. Who do you want to fight with first?
I think I'm going to have Titus swing.
Yeah, he can kill a lot of them.
Yeah. Look at those 4s. Nope.
Oh, and 3s.
Oh.
No, jeez. Okay, well, the Marauders will fight back. Once again, 1 into Titus, hitting on a 4, wounding on a 4, nothing. And a 3 into Severus, hitting on a 4, wounding on a 4. He's got his 4-up save, rerolling 1s. Oh, and it bites through, and he's down to only 1 wound. And then he swings back in his rage, hits all 3 times, wounding on 4s, wounds twice. We do have some shields in there, so we're looking at a 5-up, and kills 1 of them. So I will have to kill this one. This, of course, spooks them, being only bravery 5. That was all the attacks. Did we do all the attacks? Yeah, because you went, I went, then you went. Okay. I gotta because it goes so fast. I'm trying to remember who started it. So Battle Shock, they're only bravery 5, and 1 of them died. And so 1 more of them flees. This guy's like, nope. Nice. And now it is your turn.
We're gonna start with Severus here. He's gonna wind up and all right.
He's on 3s.
Barely hit, and.
But one of them scrapes through, 5-up save with the shield, and does punish this one right here. The remaining Marauders are still kind of stuck because he would have to go that way, but that would bring him out of coherency. So you've set up the perfect ambush here. If I'm fully using the rules, which I will, of course, sometimes, this Marauder will attack. 4s and 4s. His hit connects and is even hits hard enough to do some damage. And your armor barely absorbs it. And then you can swing back with that grand hammer of yours.
Titus is getting angry. He wants to end this right here.
4s to hit, 3s to wound. You really need some hit upgrades. There we go, finally. And that's with a -1, so my shield only is 6 up. And so that is damage 2.
Sure.
So he cuts through 2 of them. That does bring him out of the reach of Severus. So we'll just go straight to the Battle Shock phase. And we lost... Did we lose 3 of them that turn? Yeah, he killed 1, he killed 2. So 3 of them lost, bravery 5. And the last one runs, and we'll give that to Titus. And once again, as you look down at the body of the Chaos Warrior, something crystallizes, a piece of him, a piece of his soul, as his soul separates from his body and goes into some other place of the realm of death that he'll be maybe happy in, or he yanks back to whichever Chaos God he is worshipping, which appears to be Khorne, by the way, as you look at the symbols on their shields and the symbols around you, and all the blood that you notice on the ground around you seems to be Khorne. Then you reach down and pick it up out of the blood. And go ahead, hit F5. You can see our last one's still there. A rare, it's a rare, but it's a white gem. So white gem is just jewelry of self-sacrifice. Once per battle in your hero phase, you can call upon the power of the gem. All units, friend or foe, including the bearer, within D6 inches suffered D3 mortal wounds. D6 mortal wounds instead if the unit has 10 or more models. So it's kind of like the Spirit Flask of the Knight Incanter. So once per game you can do that. He doesn't have to put it on?
No.
Do you feel that Titus would be called towards that self-sacrifice?
Titus a sacrificer? You know what? Maybe he is. He's going to put it on.
He is going to put it on? Because you can hold on to it and give it to somebody after.
Yeah, we're going to hang on to it.
You're going to hang on to it?
What I mean is we're going to... Like, Titus is going to hang on to it.
He's going to attach it to himself. He attaches it to part of his whatever. You can model it after between games. So now he has that attribute once per battle. And then the game pauses and reminds you, your Liberator Prime still has an upgrade waiting to be used. And so you can upgrade Titus. We totally didn't forget. I was just waiting until this moment to do it. Yep. 2d6 upgrade. You rolled an 8. So you can randomize attack or move. In other words, we're going to roll a 4+ if it's attack or move.
Yep.
Or you can roll on the close combat or shooting tree.
So what do you mean attack or move? Like +1 attack or move?
Well, attack is down here. Attack is pick 1 weapon, gains 1 attack.
Okay.
And move means your model has a +1 move. So you get to choose but you don't get to choose if it's attack or move. You're going to randomize attack or move, or roll on close combat or shooting. You can choose whether you're rolling on close combat or shooting. Because I didn't want to, if a close combat guy to have to roll on shooting. But you don't get to choose if it's attack. That's why it says random.
Let's go roll combat. You know what? More attack is so good.
Even +1 move on a Liberator.
because you're relative. So you know what? Let's get a stat. Let's get a stat.
You want a stat?
Yeah.
So 4 plus would be move. So it's
we'll
plus
move.
1 move. You probably wanted the attack more,
I did,
especially on a grand hammer. 4 attacks in that grand hammer. That'd be nice. But now he moves 6 inches instead of 5. Also, we are going to, as far as we remember each time you're noting your experience, do the level ups in the game rather than at the end of the game, which can be much more dynamic and interesting, I think. And so Severus is now at 14 experience, and 10 is actually his first level up. So he levels up to level 2. Let's see what he gets. Let's roll your upgrade, 2d6. You roll a 7. So this you can either totally randomize a stat, which is attack, wound, or move. Never saves. You'll notice that you're rarely going to see anything that helps your saves. Or you can roll on any upgrade tree that you choose. So do you want to randomize attack, wound, or move? Or do you want to roll on one of these trees?
I think we're gonna roll on a tree. I don't know if I.
You've already got the toughness tree on him, right?
Yeah, I got
the tough.
Yeah.
So you could roll again on the toughness. You can never get this. You can never roll the same number more than once. So on some of the trees, you might notice that these two are written the same. But as soon as you roll the 1, you can't roll the 1 again. So it's really that the first time you roll a 1 or 2, you can't be stunned, and the next time you roll the 2, then it also can't be knocked down.
Toughness.
You want him to become super tough?
Yeah, I want a 5 right here. I'll take any of them.
Toughness, reroll 3s. 6.
Oh.
Choose 1. You can either get +1 saving throws against melee or ranged.
I don't need to read anymore.
But which one? You got to choose.
Melee,
okay.
Up front.
So he gets +1 saves in melee. So he is now. Remember, I just said it's rare to modify your save. There's very few of these. So he is now a 3+, and he's an astral. Sorry, he is the one that ignores the first level of rend too.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got a tough guy. If you're more familiar with 40k than Age of Sigmar, a 3+ save, re-rolling 1s that ignores 1 level of rend is very tough. I should point out that this cannot increase the save to 2+ or better. What that means is if all of a sudden Severus gets cover, which would give him a +1 armor.
He's hit by a rend 2 weapon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if he has cover, the cover still gives him the +1 to his saving throws, but a 2 would still be a failure. Now, of course, if you'd say, yeah, you're right, if it's a Rend -2 weapon, then that cover is going to help him. But that's just important to note that you're rarely going to see me allow anybody to have a 2+ save of any kind.
I like that.
And just as you kind of finish all of this and you're looking down at the dead, you hear one more screech, this roar coming from the room right next to you. And you can hear the sound of combat as well, and just a splitting pain. And you feel this wash of Azerian energy, like this heavenly energy, and it's very inviting, but at the same time bites into your soul. What would you like to do?
That all sounds horrible.
What would you like to do?
Well, we're going to move in and engage. We see the other guy there, right? We can see him?
Well, you're about to. I'll show the audience now what you're about to see as you wander into this room.
We got a nice line of sight to him.
Yeah, so this is a Gorgoroth, but as you walk in, you notice that it's been severely injured and is currently engaged close combat with a knight incanter. So we're going to do one round of combat between these two, and then it'll be your turn. And so we're going to randomize who gets to go first. So you roll a die. 4+, you get to go first. Okay, so the big Gorgoroth is going to strike at the knight incanter. Now, normally these guys are much stronger than what I'm about to show. This is a weakened Gorgoroth, so he only has 3 attacks in close combat, not 5. Hitting on 3s. Oh, jeez. And wounding on 3s. And the knight incanter swings his war staff, his ether staff, and can't seem to connect with the huge.
He's also weakened at the moment.
Yeah, he's also a little weakened. You can see that he's a little weary and disoriented. And now we switch to your turn.
Well, let's smote him.
No. Oh, yeah, that's right. Hero phase. You got a hero phase now. So you're going to arcane bolt?
Yep.
Oh, that's a 10. So D6 mortal wounds. And 1 crushes into him and bringing him down to 3 wounds. Now you got your movement phase. There's always going to move up and then charge.
Yes, sir.
It's 3 inches away, obviously. So charge.
Yep.
Oh, yep. And the other one charge.
Right down to the front. Fight me.
Yeah, fight me instead.
And
I got a shield.
Titus.
Yeah, Titus will stay back. Literally in the guy's back. He
Yeah.
jumps on his back and starts hacking at it with his grand hammer. So the fight phase, who is going to...
I think we're going to start off with his knight incanter.
Knight incanter?
Yeah. he's
Want to
the
get him
best
some
fighter here.
experience?
Well, he's the best fighter here.
Hitting on 3s. Yeah, clearly.
He's not the best fighter here at all.
Clearly. The thing roars and then swings back at the knight incanter because you still haven't quite got his attention. 3s to hit. 3s to wound. Boom! 2 wounds. -1 rend. 2 damage apiece. One of them gets through. Oh, sorry. Both of them get through.
No,
you're 3 up. You're 3 up normally. So one of them stops and you take 2 wounds. Now, knight incanters are normally 5 wounds.
Yeah.
So he actually has 7. So he's down to 5. I'm actually making a mistake here. It's only your non-knights and lords who get the +2 wounds. And so he actually starts only with 5 wounds and goes down to 3.
All right, we're going to go with Titus there. He's going to try to bash him in the back of the head. And bash him in the back of one of his skulls.
Hitting on 4s. 3s to wound.
Oh,
Is that a wound? He did a wound. He's got a 4-up save, but -1 Ren, so 5 up. Oh, he just shrugs it off. He just bats back with his other arm. And then Severus is going to swing with his Warblade, hitting on 3s.
Hands.
And a 4 to wound.
No, we're hitting on 2s.
Because that's right. Little time. Well, that was right. He was in on 3s.
That's true.
So he might have done more hits, but we'll just remember that next time. But unfortunately, 4 is to wound for him. And that's all. That's all the damage that you guys do to each other. What's wrong?
The Gorgoroth's not a monster, right?
Don't think so. Yeah, so we're going to remember this now. Astral Templar gets +1 to hit rolls against monsters, which he actually is, and heroes. But they both Liberator Primes, because Liberators get Layla of the Tyrants, which is +1 to hit against things with 5 or more wounds. And it starts with 8 normally. So that brings us to the Chaos turn. So it is going to swing once again at the Knight Incanter, hitting on 3s. Oh,
he just
goodness. Nope. So now all of yours get to go. So what order do you want to do this in?
We'll do the Knight Incanter first. I want to see if he gets a hit off today. He got 2.
3s. And 1 wound. And it's a -1 Ren for him. So 5 up. Saves or fails. And so you do D3 damage. And 2 damage brings it down to 1. 2. And who do you want to use to try to finish him off?
Try to finish him off. He's hitting on 2s.
He's hitting on 2s. Now remember all his bonuses. Look at that. That would have been 3 misses if we forgot them. And 3s. And these are at -1, so 5 up, otherwise he's dead. You got him. That's an experience. Going back to real time, you guys turn and look at the Knight Incanter. He looks at you very warily and demands you to identify yourselves.
Well, obviously, Severus is low. I'm Severus, and I'm still half awake, and I can't really fight very well.
I'm sorry that my blade didn't do more damage. I swear it doesn't usually do that.
Titus is reveling in the blood on his hammer.
Yes.
While he's fighting monsters.
He's like, yeah, monster, baby!
Who are you? Why are you fighting this thing?
And the Knight Incanter introduces himself as...
This is Claudius from the Celestial Warbringers. Now in new armor.
And Severus is like, let me guess, you're not from around here. And Claudius says, no, I was actually just recently in the realm of shadows. And we were fighting a group of grots. And a bunch of them all climbed on top of me and were just starting to poke and prod, and I just couldn't get them back because we were too busy. And then I just found myself here, fighting this huge beast, and then you guys came in.
This is getting weird.
This is getting weird. And he's like, why is my armor black? And why does my hand feel funny?
Did you say that?
And that's when Severus says...
Yo, bro, me too.
Yeah, me too. And Titus is like, okay, I have something to confess.
But Titus also, Severus like, I used to be a surfer, sorry the way I talk.
Sorry about the way I talk, I'm sure. And Titus is like, yeah, my hand is kind of numb too. I'm not quite sure what's going on. And that's when the Knight Incanter pulls off his glove to take a look at his actual hand. And he notices that it's become his skin on his one arm has become very pale.
Oh.
And very taut. Almost like the skin has died and is just starting to decay. But he still can function. He can still flex his hand, but he can't feel it.
And this is his right hand or left hand?
His left hand.
His left
the
hand,
one where the silver
hand.
armor was. And he looks at it very curiously and a little bothered. But at the same time, the scholar inside of him wants to study it.
And now he'll forever be venturing forth, staring at his hand.
Yeah, just look at his... Exactly. Which is why now he is modeled like this.
This is so weird.
This is weird. I can use my hand and I know where it is, but I can't feel it. Can you guys still feel it? You still can't feel your hand? Okay. Look, I got an itch. Oh, it's so... Scratch your nose with your numb hand. It is so strange. And after he does this, he looks down at the remains of this huge monster, and he feels drawn towards a power that's inside of it. He just shoves his hand into its gut and yanks out a bloody gem. I just want to point out before you refresh, you're not necessarily going to get this many gems in a game. Just want to kind of introduce how cool they are. Refresh.
Did I hit it?
I think you did. Just wait for it to come back. Oh, another rare gem.
What?
I swear, it's a 1 in 6 chance that they're rare. You've done it 3 times in a row. Rare blue gem, so that's for shields, of refraction. Once per battle round, the first time the bearer or any friendly model, so this is actually the rare one, because there's one that doesn't do the friendly models, just the bearer, within 6 inches, suffers any mortal wounds inflicted by a spell or endless spell, roll a d3 and reduce the number of mortal wounds to 0, possibly, suffered by the roll. So it's once per battle, basically. You put it on a shield. Right now you only have one shield.
Yeah.
You want to give it to him?
I do, speaking of Severus.
All right, so a blue gem where once per battle, and it's actually the first time. It doesn't matter. You don't get to choose. The first time the bearer or any friendly within 6 inches takes any mortal wounds from a spell, specifically from spells, endless spells, then it reduces that damage by D3.
Nice.
So that's a blue gem of refraction. And boom! You got enough experience to upgrade Titus. So there's a little icon above his head that you can click. So Titus can roll on the upgrades, now he's hit level 2. 7, that's a random stat or roll on a tree. We still haven't rolled on any of the special trees, because there's actually, just want to point out, there are a lot of special trees. And you look at that, there's a lot of them they all have keywords. So like Redeemer, that's Liberators, and Sequitors, Paladins, that's your Protectors and Retributors. Totems would be any bears, the Lord and Wizards, Sacrosanct. So if you're a Sacrosanct Redeemer, you could roll on either of those. What's that?
How much is a stat?
It'll be randomized attack, wound, or move.
Yeah, let's go for that.
So D3 in that order. So 2 is a wound.
All right.
So Titus is now 6 or 5 wounds. 5 wounds. That's right. He's only 4. Hearing the sounds of battle outside, and kind of the air being a little fresher in that direction, the 3 of your heroes then head on towards the exit of this dungeon as we finish our first episode of Watchers in Death. Now, just for participating, everybody gets 2d6 experience. So let's do that right now. And so we'll just do one at a time, 2d6. Severus. So 7 for Severus. No, he doubles that to 14. 9 and 9. I can't believe you found 3 rare gems. People are gonna be like, hey, they're gonna get too overpowered too quickly. It's like, don't worry. First off, this was an introductory mission, so they're meant to just be tested to see how well they put up against certain threats. And so there's gonna be harder things for them to fight as we move on. And so let's see who upgrades. Your Knight Incanter, what was his name again?
Claudius.
Claudius upgrades to level 2. And Severus, of course, getting double experience and everything. You better hope he doesn't die.
I know.
Because you saw how close he came, right? He was down to 1 wound, just like that.
He'll be fine.
And he's already at level 3. Who do you want to roll for first?
Let's do Severus.
Severus, our Redeemer. 7, so random stat or tree.
Toughness.
Oh, jeez, you're just going to max out his toughness? So 6, he already has that. 3, you've already got that.
Give me that 5.
4, ignores wounds and mortal wounds on a 6+. Oh, goodness. And then Claudius, his first upgrade is a 7, so same thing, random stat or roll on any tree.
And he can go on a special tree?
No.
Yes, okay.
Roll on any general upgrade. You'll see that these are general, and then you'll see that there's special upgrade trees. So that's the 3 and a 4 and the 10 and 11. Roll on any upgrade tree that applies.
I don't think he cares.
And he would be able to choose between Wizard, Sacrosanct, yeah, those 2, but he can't do that right now.
All right, let me see like a peek here. I think we go just stat here.
So D3, attack, wound, or move. It's move.
All right.
So he will. Does he base move 5?
I think they're all starting 5. Yeah.
And that is our first mission of Watchers in Death. We're not going to roll any more gems or anything. I think finding 3 in a game is probably a larger amount than you'll be normally rolling. Not because you found 3 rare, but I just wanted to give you kind of a bit of a head start with some experience.
3 gems actually too.
I didn't expect the first one that you to find was a double experience gem. Like, come on, man. There's always got to be something.
That's great.
There's always got to be something. So as you leave the dungeon and go up, go to the next mission and the link below to watch what happens next in the narrative. You know that he has not yet met all his Watchers in Death, as the squad is going to be bigger than just 3. So we're going to be meeting more of them in the next one. If you're not a Vault member, I implore you to try this out. I think this is going to be a fantastic campaign. And just to bribe you to get in there, we're going to give you all of the Age of Sigmar campaigns that we've made so far. So Ilaras Awakening, which was really good. Spell Hunters, which we really enjoyed making. And now this one for free. I should clarify, if you sign up for it now and cancel, you'll still get the rest of these missions as they come out. Like, you'll have access to it as they come out without being a Vault member. And the reason that we're willing to do that, even though we need Vault members in order to actually operate, is because we know that the majority of people, once they become a Vault member, realize how much they like it and they stick around and help to support us. And if you are a Vault member, of course, you probably already clicked to the next video, but if you're still here, thank you so much for supporting us. Stay tuned for more Watchers in Death, and we'll see you in the vault.
Oh yeah.